I'm author Candice Lola, and I was raised to be a good girl. Don't talk back, don't raise my voice. If I had it and you needed it, it was yours, even if I needed it. Forgive easily and often. Don't take up too much space. And don't defend myself. Get an adult to do that or some other authority. And I tried. I really tried for the first few years of my life. I tried to stick to that. But life crept in. People got on my nerves. People tried to hurt me. People did hurt me. I saw other people getting hurt. And I saw people advocating for other people to get hurt. And at first, I used the proper channels. I told my parents, I told my pastor, I told the principal, I told other family members, I prayed, I tried to learn more. But I still saw people getting hurt. I still saw people that were doing the hurting getting protected, and I was still getting hurt. And so by the time I got to about the fourth grade, I decided to take matters into my own hands. There was a little boy who had been messing with me. He told me that he was going to punch me. So I slapped him across the face before he finished that sentence. We get into loud political arguments with my family members. I would shut down any teachers who tried to corner or humiliate or humble me. And I was pretty vilified for this, if you can imagine. By the time I got to high school, I had a reputation for being really angry, for cussing everybody out, is what they used to say. Even though I didn't use curse words, but the fire was immediately vilified in me. And that made me feel really ashamed. Anger wasn't a large part of my personality. I just saw myself as defending myself. But I had to get rid of the anger, which didn't happen in high school. High school is such a frustrating place. It didn't happen in high school either. And so by the time I left home at 17 to go to college, I left in shame. I left to find a change of scenery, to see if I could get a hold of this anger that felt alien. It felt like it was coming from the outside and that I had no control over it. But as more of the world revealed itself, as I learned how power moves, as I gained more life experience, the injustices and the transgressions piled up. I saw more innocent people being hurt and being victimized. I was hurt. I saw attackers being comforted and protected. I heard beliefs and doctrines and group thought that defended terrible things and attacked victims or people who spoke out. And that made me feel powerless, which made me feel frustrated, which made me feel really angry, which made me feel really ashamed. And so I didn't get a hold of it in college either or graduate school. And I got to the point where I worked myself into a shame spiral that took a year to crawl out of. That was the same year I started writing the first draft of my book, Women of Glass and Other Parables. Creating that first draft felt like I sort of closed my eyes and started typing. A lot of it felt unconscious. And when I came to, so to speak, I had written a horror collection, which shocked me and terrified my mom. But I did not know that my anger ran that deep, that it was that visceral or violent or nuanced. But I think what scared me the most is how powerful it made me feel. It made me feel powerful to live in that anger. I was afraid of my own power, is what I realized. Why did my own power feel out of my control? And it wasn't until a little while later that I realized that it was the shame. The shame of my anger kept me from accessing it, kept me from knowing it. There was a psychologist in the early 1900s named Sylvan Tompkins who came up with the shame and effect theory. He calls shame an interrupter of positive effect. He says that shame is a built-in inhibitor that comes to limit or interfere with any expression of affect, drive, or any form of perception or of synthesis, which is important. Shame, in a word, disrupts any feeling or perception of unity, and in my case, any self-unity. My anger felt alien and overwhelming to me because my shame kept it in the dark, kept me from accessing it, kept me from getting to know it. It kept me fragmented, and a house divided cannot stand. In order for me to channel my anger, I needed to integrate it, look at her in its face, listen to her, understand that she has some good points. Understand that it was an honor to dedicate my collection to feminine rage. It's extremely important for women to acknowledge their rage. It's extremely important for women to integrate the parts of our personality that we have been shamed away from. It's important to the future of the world. It's important to the future of the communities that we support and protect and create. That we are critical of the beliefs that we hold, the world that we live in, the world that we come from, and the way we carry ourselves in the world. Even if you don't end up changing your external world too much, you need to find yourself. Find yourself before shame and convention fettered you. I happen to be a big Marvel Comics fan. I have been that way since I was a kid. So I was really excited about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And in the first Avengers movie in 2012, we have a really famous scene. The Avengers are downtown. They're fighting off some invasive alien space force. What else is new? And most of the team is on the ground fighting. Black Widow, Hawkeye, Thor comes, and Captain America fighting the ground invasion. And then Bruce Banner, who is the human half of the Hulk, sort of puts up on a rickety bike. Right when Tony Stark, Iron Man, comes over the radio and says, "I'm bringing the fight to you." And he comes around the corner. There's a huge alien spaceship behind him. Now, as you know, Bruce Banner can only access the Hulk when he's angry, which makes it kind of a volatile part of himself. And so Captain America looks at Bruce and goes, "I think it's time to get angry." Bruce, who had been Bruce almost the whole movie, turns to Cap and says, "That's my secret. I'm always angry." And by the time he turns back around to face that spaceship, he's the Hulk, his lethal fists posed, ready in less than a second. That is a power of emotional integration. Bruce Banner tried all method of upheaval to get rid of the Hulk. He even tried killing himself a couple of times. It wasn't until he acknowledged that the Hulk was him, was a part of him. His anger was a part of him and was always going to be there, that he was able to get it under control and access it when he needed it. Your rage, your anger is your personal warrior. It's urgent. It gets things done. What follows anger is change. Undeniable change. And I believe that's why women have been denied our anger for so long, for this very reason. We're natural world builders, natural change makers. Humanity continues because of us. We are the gatekeepers of humanities. Imagine the power of an angry gatekeeper. Imagine the things that would have to come to a grinding halt in order to placate them. Imagine the change that would ensue. Imagine the power. Wouldn't you try to calm us down too? We as women can never forget our power, and you as a woman can never be ashamed to reclaim yours. We're up against it as women in this country. Changes have been coming faster and faster. It's time to wake up your warrior. and set her loose. Remove that film of shame and look your rage in the face. She is you. She's a gift of speed and protection and intense protective love. And you should never deny yourself that. I'm Candace Lola, author of Women of Glass and Other Parables, and it's time to get mad. Thank you for listening.